everybody, it's Luca for Galaxy Tech Review, and today I've got Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on the GTX 1070 laptop version, so that you can see the benchmarking of this particular game on the GTX 1070. Now up in the left hand corner, as usual, we have MSI Afterburner running with GPU temperature, frames per second, CPU temperature and utilization, and of course system RAM as well. If we go into settings, you're going to see graphics settings are at 1080p full screen, and it is on very high, which is the highest preset of the game. We also have VSync off, so you can see the total frame rate instead of a capped 60 frames per second. And that's pretty much it, except for an interesting thing I'd like to note is a photo mode that allows you to take in-game screenshots. And I also have a Xbox One S controller hooked up for gameplay via Bluetooth to my laptop. So let's get into the game here. This is the very beginning of the game, so I don't want to give too much away. I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit here in the beginning of the game, and this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, about 20 minutes or so of the initial gameplay, and this is kind of just your tutorial. The first thing that I can comment on is the model that they use for your main character looks absolutely superb, as does the rest of the actual landscape and things like that as well. 66 degrees on the GPU, and we're averaging about 90 to 95 frames a second. CPU is about 70 to 75 degrees Celsius with about 50% usage on the CPU. So you may be able to get away with an i5 on this. It doesn't eat into the hyper-threading too much on the i7. System RAM here is 6.2 gigabytes out of 16 gigabytes of system RAM. This game overall is heavy in the story. You can see that we're looking at these runes here, and they're kind of giving us some backstory of what your character is going through here. And overall, if you're into action games, third person, that have a rich story and lore, then you're going to really like Hellblade, because it is very story driven, which is very cool. So far I've had a great experience with this game. I'm going to let you guys check out some of the gameplay here, and then I'll kind of chime in here and there on things that I see as we go through it.
Goes from there, across the river of knives that flows from the dark world of Niflheim.
Now, interestingly, throughout the game you're going to hear voices, several voices, that the main character is going through some sort of psychosis. And this is a main, kind of a theme with this game, that this character is going through some sort of psychosis, mental illness of some sort, and they actually, the developers, consulted with neuroscientists and psychologists to try to get an idea of what it would be like to go through a psychosis. I myself suffer from panic disorder, so it's not exactly a trigger for me, but it is. It definitely adds anxiety to the gameplay for me personally, and may well for a lot of other people as well.
Was right. What was it he said? The river of knives across which lies the halls of hell, the place they call Helheim.
He's lost. Where are you?
There's no doubt about it. The source of the darkness is in Helheim, and the goddess Hela holds his soul there. Her dear beloved, Dillian.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? Why doesn't she turn back? She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue him. He's already dead. He's dead. But his soul is in Helheim. His soul still lives. She needs to save his soul. She wants her soul to be
The bridge to Helheim. I forget its name. She forgets too. But she does remember that only the dead may cross it. That part wasn't so easy to forget. The old fool said there was a hidden path up to it. Let's see, shall we?
The Northmen speak of 9 worlds. The world of men they call Midgard. Sky gods dwell in Asgard. The gods of earth, harvest, wind, and sea dwell in Vanaheim. The good elves dwell in Alfheim. The evil ones dwell in Svartalfheim. The mountain giants dwell in Jotunheim. The fire giants dwell in Muspelheim. Niflheim is the world of ice and darkness. Only the dead dwell in Helheim. And that is where you must travel.
That's the way. You don't know where you're going. Get down.
What's she waiting for?
You've got to go. Why did she do that? She shouldn't have done it.
She can't go back now. No, this is it. The hidden path.
Another thing you may notice is that there's absolutely no HUD in this game, which for some people they might not like that. For me, I actually like the clean look of no HUD. This is a pretty interesting point in the game where they teach you about runes that open doors. Something that I thought was pretty cool as well. You can actually look at a rune on a door, and then you have to go and find that rune to actually, in the world, to actually open up the door.
Who are you?
It's just a memory.
Drew? Is that you?
For my tales of the Northmen, they call me Druth. A liar.
He's
An old fool. Druth is my truth.
It's good to see you again. You kept your vow.
Guide you in this life and the next. I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
Tell me your stories again, old friend. I'm listening.
The runes seal the gates to hell. Focus your inner eye, and you too will see what's hidden in plain sight.
You have to take a closer look to see. Why isn't she focusing?
I can see
focus
one.
now.
Hold it in your mind's eye. find one like it to open the gate.
It's just like you'll never find it.
It's near. Look towards the gate, and the gate will open.
The gate is open. Go through the gate.
Go through it.
It's dangerous.
Follow it.
What's behind the gate?
Where will it take you?
It's not safe. It worked.
I spent 6 years enslaved in hell, but I watched the Northmen, learnt their ways.
I know you did.
You listen when everyone else laughed. My people paid a heavy price. Carry my stories with you, and together we will make the Northmen feel our fury.
Another voice joins us. She once tried to make them go away. Pretend they weren't real. But what good is that? When we are always here. I guess it's the same with heights. You can stand on the edge. Pretend it's going to be okay. But you know that death is near. Waiting for you to make that little slip. You can't just wish things away.
The world of the dead is ruled by the giantess, Hela, daughter of Loki. The gods feared her bloodline, bad on her mother's side and yet much worse on her father's. So, as a child, the All-Father cast her down into Helheim and gave her power over those who die of sickness, age, hardship, and self-slaughter. In all of the 9 worlds, only Hela can resurrect the dead. To Hela, your Dillion was sacrificed, and with her you must bargain.
Stay back.
Look at it.
You have to open it.
The gate to Helheim divides the living from the dead. Is that the face of Hela herself? The half-rotten goddess that rules over Helheim. Whatever horrors lie behind that door, she must find him. Shh. Someone's here. what you want. I won't resist anymore. Just give him back.
At this point, we get to some combat in the game, and actually there's no hand-holding whatsoever here. They don't tell you how to block. They don't really tell you anything in-game. You have to actually figure it out for yourself or look in your controller settings to kind of figure things out. But overall, the dodging is actually pretty good. The third-person aspect of it is very nice. The combat system in this is pretty fun. So I look forward to more of the combat in this as well.
A vision of what's to come. Poor Senua. The darkness does not bargain, it does not reason. It is wrought, and now it has taken hold. It will spread towards her head, the seat of the soul, until there is nothing left of her. All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time.
So there you go. That's a little bit of Hellblade on the PC. And you can see the GTX 1070 did an awesome job. GPU temperature 68 frames per second, averaged about 90 to 95 frames per second during the very high preset. CPU temperatures low to mid 70s, usually right at that 50% mark where it's using 50% of the CPU. So again, if you're on a machine that has an i5, you're not going to be hitting too much hyper-threading here, and about 6.6 gigabytes of 16 gigabytes of system memory. Again, 1080p full screen on the very high preset, so it did very, very well. Visually, this game is awesome. It's very story rich. It does not hold your hand one iota, which I certainly like as well. This was Luke from Galaxy Tech Review. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so, and I'll check you guys out on the next video.